Got a little cigar. Listen, the song is as low as it's low. What are you going to do? But guess what? If you watch She-Hulk and there's people on PCP that are obsessed with this show, one of them our former third co-host, you know what it is. But thanks for joining us on this Monday evening. Welcome to episode 77 of Granny's Peach Tea. Go ahead, say it. You got a comment about 77.
We are like we used to be Granny's Peach Tea. Now we're Granny's Distilled Wine. We're aging gracefully.
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think we're aging gracefully, Jason. There's no question about it. Yeah, we're opening up and woke up this morning, which is the Sopranos opening theme. Which, if you watch She-Hulk, you know why we're doing this. So we appreciate it. That's where we got our inspiration from this week. And Farachi, of course, we're opening up Sopranos. Farachi comes out of the woodworks now, so maybe he had a feeling. But, what's up, Farachi? What's going on?
I was telling Ed off camera that my relationship with the Sopranos is I would dip in here and there, so I know like some years, and I know very well the year with Joe Pantoliano, and I got triggered. I got a flashback. I was like, man, Joey Pants killed that horse, man. I'm still upset about that.
So I was recommending you should definitely go back. I think you should go back and watch it from the beginning, man. It is a great show.
I think I am. Because I actually really always liked what I saw. It was just like I didn't know he's had access to HBO.
Yeah. So, well, now it's on Max. I'm sure it's all there whenever you want. So
now I got access to everything. It's crazy.
It's everywhere. Yeah, thanks for joining us. If you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube, joining us on Twitter, joining us wherever you find your audio-only version of the podcast. We always appreciate the support. And always with me, as always, is Jason Shaddick. Jason, what's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going? Good to be here. Look, we got a good lineup going. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about. I'm actually really excited to talk about everything we have on the docket today, up to and especially including the trial of the Incredible Hulk, which I have to say, this is one of the best. I'm not even buried the lead. One of the best made for TV movies I've ever seen. I really enjoyed it.
Woo! I'm
going all in.
All right, so you got some. That's a statement to open up the show with, man.
I wanted to come in swinging hard because I watched that because I had mixed feelings, as I said, about the one we did last week. I had some nostalgia, some things I liked, some things I didn't. I watched this. I texted you and Rick and Tim, and I'm like, dude, I'd watch this Daredevil show if this was a backdoor pilot. I'm hard in for that.
If I remember correctly, the call was I would watch the shit out of that Daredevil show.
That's what I would watch the shit of that Daredevil show right now. And as I was finishing the movie. So yeah, so I got a lot of thoughts about that movie when we get to it. I want to come in hot on that one because that's the one that no one really cares about because we've got all sorts of new stuff to talk about. And I want to amp up the old TV movie because that's who I am.
I think you got to respect it, man. And it's been a lot of fun. I love when we go back and watch these old movies and and because we saw them as kids mostly, so we get to see it like as an adult
for sure.
And you do view it differently. So,
all right, but there's also still some of that fun. But let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's jump into it since we do got a lot of stuff that dropped late last week. A new trailer for Black Adam dropped. This is one of these movies and these projects I am amazed with because they've been teasing this since I was like 7 years old when The Rock was casted as Black Adam. And now it's actually happening. I'm just amazed that we're gonna be sitting in a theater soon enough and actually watching the Black Adam movie because I never thought it was gonna happen.
I'm with you. I didn't think so either. They've been talking about this forever, and I think what it is, this is the plan, right? The plan is to rebrand the DCEU using not Black Adam because they don't care about these characters, using Dwayne The Rock Johnson because the man is a god. Let's just face it. Come on, guys. The man is a god who walks among us, and we should just be happy that he's here for us. I think I'm very vocal about my love for The Rock. But I think that's the plan. And you know what? I'm excited to see it. I'm very excited after this trailer. That's for sure.
Okay, and that's what I wanted to get into because I think it's important to always emphasize when we talk about trailers on this show. We want to make sure that we're talking about the trailer itself. Not necessarily just the movie, with the trailer, because as we all know, there's been dynamite trailers for movies and the movie sucks, and vice versa. So when vice versa happens, usually it's a hidden gem movie that no one went to see because the trailer sucks. Now, if you do watch our show on a regular basis and you happen to catch the episode when the first trailer dropped, I was not over the moon about the trailer because I think the trailer sucked. This trailer now matches my excitement for the film itself. This trailer is awesome. This is an exciting trailer. The job of a trailer and any kind of promotion is to amp up your level of excitement for the project that it is advertising. This truly knocks it out of the park for me. I am way more excited to see Black Adam now than I was before I saw this trailer.
Yeah, for sure. But now, here's the thing. Before I comment on this trailer, I have to put you on the spot here because I have a question for you, Ed. I want to see how well you know my taste, and I think you know this. Before I speak about any of these three trailers, which of these three these projects do you think I'm most excited about, based off the trailers?
I mean, if we're gonna include the next panel stuff, it's obviously the Werewolf by Night. That's a fucking given. Are you nuts?
Yes.
Come on, of course.
Yes. Yes.
Jason,
I'm so happy you know me that well.
Jason, I do know you that well. All right, I've known you for we've known each other for a long time now. There's no question about it. Yeah, there's no question about it. All right. You're most excited for Werewolf by Night. Rick is most excited by Werewolf by Night. There's no question about it. Both of you are. I have no questions.
All right.
I am excited for. I am excited. Yes. I am excited for Werewolf by Night, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yes, of course you will.
I just because I'm about to sing the praises of everything, but I just wanted to see if you knew. But thank you for validating that.
There's no question, man.
But all right, so back to Black Adam. This, like, I told you I don't really like trailers. I told you trailers very rarely get me pumped for things. I told you a lot of shit about trailers. This trailer pumped me, man. I get to see Thanagarian, I get to see Hawkman in all of his glory. I get to see Dr. Fate, fading out. I get to see Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Pierce Brosnan, right? Exactly, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. Just the fact that assemble the Justice Society. I kind of got chills about that. I mean, this was no matter what happens with this movie. Like, this was an amazing trailer, and I got pumped for this movie.
Yeah, I was excited. Jason, you were about to get that text because I already started looking on a Regal app for my Unlimited and all right, we need to start planning because me and you haven't seen a movie together in a little bit. So I was Black Adam's probably going to be the next one. So I'm like, let's get our tickets now. Let's start setting aside who's down, who's in. I'm excited we got to see much more of the Justice Society of America. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate looks incredible. We also got Amanda Waller in this, and also mentioned there's a snippet of the Justice League. She has video of the Justice League she's watching, and also there's been some Suicide Squad stuff in here. So this is old DCEU stuff, which we know is in flux, due to the the Discovery Warner Brothers ownership now. But I have a feeling they're still not going to completely trash the thing. They are going to try to do what they can to save it and just right the ship. So, which is a dangerous thing. But this movie has a lot going for it, in my opinion.
It does. I'll tell you, the only ding I have against this movie right now has really nothing to do with the movie and all to do with Black Adam isn't really an anti-hero and whatever. That's my own personal thing. I mean, but if I watch it and it's amazing, hand wave. Okay, fine. You entertain me. I can get over it. But it's one of those things that before I see what they do with it, I'm kind of I'm excited, but I don't know, man, this guy really never was a hero in the comic. And because I don't know, they're setting him up not just to be an anti-hero. I think, yes, that's the intention here, but if the plan is, and it does seem like it is, to use The Rock to course correct the ship, they're gonna have to make him a Superman type character. So Superman should always be the anchor of the DC universe. You know what I mean?
Or Batman. Just say it.
Or
You can say
Batman, but
it.
I'm thinking.
You can say it.
Well, look, here's the thing. Whereas Superman is the anchor, Batman is the heart, the brains, the soul. He is
Yes.
almost everything else.
Yes. There we go. There it is. There it is. There it is, Jason. We don't hide our love for Batman. It's fine.
No, we don't. Yeah, Batman is the best. My son, by the way, told me today, Ed, you're gonna love this. My son, we were watching TV, and he was watching some superhero stuff on YouTube, and he looks at me, and he goes, "Daddy, I love Batman and Spider-Man." And I went, "I do too, buddy. I do."
Yes, yes, it's awesome.
Spider-Man is his current favorite. That's who he wants to go for Halloween. So I'm trying to research like to be a Spider-Man villain when I take him trick or treating.
I'm gonna go. Listen, I'm gonna go hang out with your son, man. Like this is where it is. Like he's with me. We're Spider-Man and then Batman, like 1 and 1A. So yeah,
that's it. But you know what? Hey, if it's not gonna be Batman, I'm okay if it's Spider-Man. He's right there for me too. So
yeah, it's all good, man. I have no problems with that either. So yeah, I think as far as it goes with the DCEU and everything, there's also a lot of rumors going around that Henry Cavill recorded a post-credit scene for Black Adam.
Right.
So we don't know what's going on there because we keep on getting teased with the return of Henry Cavill. If that happens, then like people might need to bring like a change of pants to the theater and everything. Like it just might really blow the roof off the place.
I know. And look, I'm going to be honest. I think because it'll be Henry Cavill, but it won't be in the Snyderverse. You know, I think I'm the least, the least fan of the Snyderverse stuff, from the people who come on the show. But I would love to see what other people could do with Cavill. I think I might really love him as Superman in the right hands, So I would love to see his return to the DCEU under this new sort of leadership they're going for and see what they do with him.
Yeah, because I always find it interesting when they are like, "Oh, the Snyderverse," they're not restoring the Snyderverse. I'm like, well, you are using his Wonder Woman, and you are using his Flash, and you are using his Aquaman. So, and we know Ben Affleck recorded stuff for Aquaman, and we're going to see him in the Flash as well. So you're not totally. If you're saying he's not directing and writing the films anymore, fine, but you're still using the characters he started and those incarnations. So not totally gone.
Right. It's and there's no reason he should be. I mean, if all these other characters are hanging around and you can kind of retrofit them to the tone or vibe you want, which I think the DCU in their later films have been doing a better job, of kind of course correcting those movies, and we've talked about that ad nauseum on the show. But like, why not do it with Superman, especially when even who I'm not even a fan of that particular run of Superman, which we discussed, I really would love to see Cavill because I thought he is an excellent Superman. So, like, why not give him that chance when you have this other stable of people? Like, the actors are not the Snyderverse. The material and Snyder is the Snyderverse.
Agreed. So, all right. So, yeah, I'd say we both are applauding the second trailer for Black Adam. Our excitement levels through the roof now with it. I think that's the next. That's the next big thing we're gonna get. So let's see what happens. So I'm pretty pumped for that. All right. So then also D23 was this weekend, and we got a Marvel panel out of there. They had a lot of cool stuff that dropped, but the two trailers that we got from D23. And I guess we'll start it off with one we're getting in October on Disney Plus is Werewolf by Night.
Oh, yes, we are. Yes, we are.
We're getting Man-Thing, which that's going to queue up our review of the sci-fi Man-Thing movie. So we know what we're doing around then.
Yes, it is. And I cannot believe that I am about to see Man-Thing in live action. I cannot believe it.
Well, we're gonna watch the sci-fi one, so that's a movie we're covering soon, and then we're gonna actually see him in MCU canon.
But I meant an MCU canon. I meant done well.
Okay.
Like we know what we're in for this Man-Thing movie. It's gonna suck. It's gonna be fun to talk about. But like, I cannot believe I'm getting Man-Thing in the MCU. Like I don't know, 11-year-old me is giddy with all of these characters no one cared about even then.
but the trailer itself it's black and white. It's very much like old school horror movie. It has a cigarette burn in it, like
Oh, it's great.
Grindhouse style. Which apparently there was a discussion. Don Owens, who's been on our show before, he has his own show with Am I on the Air. There's a plug for I Am on the Air on Pop Culture Pros, who covers a lot of stuff that we cover. He was not loving the black and white, but Rick jumped in as like, dude, once a cigarette burn came in that trailer, I was all about it. I'm like, of course.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, of course you were.
I'm with Rick. You had me at the cigarette burn. I'm going to say you had me at the black and white. You had me at the kind of purposefully cheap looking, effects. You had me at the feature presentation. Like when you said Grindhouse, this is exactly what it felt like. It felt like a Grindhouse movie. And it's a hard in on a fucking MCU Grindhouse movie. I am all in and more.
Yeah. I didn't know what to really expect from this project when it was announced and everything. And like over time, we haven't really heard too much about it. But now that I've seen the trailer and this is what they're going for, this is what we talk about all the time about how different the MCU gives us all this crazy shit. And now we're getting their Grindhouse horror-esque movie on Disney Plus. Absolutely. Brilliant. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, and that's why I say, because so many people, like, and especially now we're in a stage where it's comic book fatigue is happening, people are beating up certain MCU projects, but it's like the whole thing is, it's like they are always trying to reinvent themselves, always trying new things, and it's like if something wasn't for you, or if something didn't particularly work or land, it's okay. Look at all the other stuff they're doing. Like, we might watch this and it might suck, but again, I famously on this show will not beat something up, a piece of art up, for trying something new. And that's kind of what I love about the MCU. It's always trying something new, even when it can become a soulless cash grab. It very easily could become a soulless cash grab at this point. Yeah. But it doesn't. It's always trying to reinvent and do something artistic. Whether, look, it's a light use of the word artistic. I get it. But, like, it's trying. And I think that's what I love about it. And that's why I'm so excited about this particular project.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to talk about it on the show because we'll definitely obviously be reviewing that.
Obviously.
And
yeah.
I did not think
stop me from talking about it.
Yeah, I did not think that I was going to walk out of D23 being like, dude, Werewolf by Night, man. This is, I'm pumped for this. I really was not expecting that at all, but now I am. And I love the Grindhouse stuff. We like, we don't talk about it on this show that much, but we like cheap old school horror movies and things like that. Yeah, and so does Nick, and so does Tim and everything. And even Quentin Tarantino's Grindhouse, we also dug, it's the Planet Terror and the one he actually directed.
Death Proof.
Death Proof, yes. Both very different, but like Planet Terror, which was directed by Robert Rodriguez, went all in on the Grindhouse stuff. And I thought it was awesome. Just for that.
Yeah, agreed. And then also all those watching this trailer felt like it could have been one of those trailers like Machete or Hobo with a Shotgun. Both movies I've seen, by the way, because they did make those movies.
Yes, I have seen Hobo with a Shotgun. Yes,
Hobo with a Shotgun. Come on, that's painful to watch.
It is. No, that is actually painful to watch. I like the Machete movies much more because I was all ready for Machete in Space, but they didn't go that. They didn't keep going. My favorite trailer from those, though, is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is the best.
And it's the voice too. It's like this holiday season, murder will come home. Thanksgiving.
Oh man. So I did not think it was going to go down this route, but so are you glad they didn't make the movie? Are you glad that they left that one as a trailer though?
No, 100%, because that's funny because it's just like that trailer, and it's like, oh my god, that looks so gruesome. If they made that into a movie, I wouldn't want to sit through that, man. That looks not terrifying. It looks like it would make me nauseous because I really don't like torture porn things, and I think it would have killed the joke. I think those things were supposed to be jokes. Except for
I think they
Machete, which
knew
I
it.
think Robert Rodriguez did no. I think Robert Rodriguez was like, put this in there because I'm going to make this movie and I want funding.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm going to go through with this. This is actually happening. I'm going to make 2 of them, and I might even make 3. Who the hell knows? But Eli Roth was like, no, I'm just going to do. Let's do the trailer. I mean, there's the dude that's like banging the turkey at the end of it.
Like, yeah, right. And then they come in. There's a person trussed up with an apple in their mouth. Like, it's disturbing.
Yeah, I agree. That's one I'm glad they actually left as a trailer because it's perfect for that.
Me too. I do wish they'd make the Nicolas Cage one.
Oh yes, absolutely. I think that could have worked as a movie. If you don't know what we're talking about, YouTube Thanksgiving trailer and stuff, and you won't regret it. Believe me, it's pretty.
Yeah, actually, you know what? When we're done here, I'll try to share it out I'll share it on the page when we're done with the show. I'll find it and share it.
It's completely nuts. The other trailer though that we got was Secret Invasion, a show that like we didn't hear that much about, and like we talked about in the last segment, the trailers to get you more excited for it. And boy, this trailer seemed like it got a lot of people. Like Alex was commenting, and it sounded by your reaction. We're all way more amped up for this now because I didn't really know what to expect fully. I mean, we know what the comic storyline is, but like as a show, I'm like, well, are we going to half-ass it? I'm not getting that impression at all. It looks pretty awesome.
No. Look, my even my DM, who sometimes listens to the show, my dungeon master for the D&D, he actually posted the Secret Invasion in one of our D&D chat groups. Like, guys, how excited are you for this? Come on, like, because just it's getting everyone excited. It's great. It's like we get Nick. I would say this. We get Nick Fury back. I was going to say Nick Cage. We get Nick Fury back, which I miss Sam Jackson in these movies. I've missed his presence. We it as you said, it doesn't look like they're half-assing it. Like this, talking about these movies reinventing itself, watching these trailers, I felt like I was watching the trailer for like a 1950s like sort of film noir communist fear thing, where like everyone's out to get you and there's conspiracy and trust no one. And I really like love that they tried to make that give you the anxiety, and you get to see Nick Fury looking like drunk and old and scraggled, and it looks like he's been through some shit. And like, yeah, I didn't know nothing about this. I watched this. I'm like, I'm in. When is 2023? No, now. Give it to me now.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Nick Fury back. We got Agent Maria Hill back. Rhodey is in this as well.
Yes, yeah, good to see him.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's why they've also shined a little bit more light on Armored Wars, which was a show that they kind of didn't mention at Comic-Con, but now it's they're reminding us that it's not going to go ahead and not getting kicked to the curb. So that was exciting to see. So yeah, I'm pretty hyped up for this, man. It's a definitely different tone from a lot of the shows that we've been getting on Disney Plus. As much as I'm enjoying them, I told you this too, is that between Black Panther, Secret Invasion and stuff, like I'm actually kind of happy to see some of the more serious tone coming back into the MCU because, and again, I'm not saying you can't have the fun tone that we've been getting, but I also appreciate the serious tone as well, and it seems like they'll be getting back to that with some of these.
Yeah, no, I'm all with you. Like I've appreciated. I'm loving She-Hulk, and I'm loving the the comedic tone of that. I appreciated Thor: Love and Thunder. I know some people it's divisive. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I kind of like Thor the comedian. Some people don't. That's fine. But I'm with you. Like I need to. I want to get grounded. I need to get grounded back into some form of like. Not like this is where we're going arc, but give me something serious, give me something menacing, give me some dread. I haven't felt dread in the MCU for a while, not since Thanos. And look, you got to cool off after Thanos. Thanos is he comes in hot. He like no one's ever forgetting those movies, I mean of course they will, but they'll live on for 15 years, which is as long as you can live in this society with the attention span. But the point is, it's like they had to cool off, but I'm with you. I'm glad they're coming back to the more serious tone. They're going to give us some menacing stuff again.
Yeah. And some of the other news that we got, because those are the only actual trailers. They showed other stuff, and none of it was released online. Is so Daredevil Born Again? Charlie Cox come out and said it's a full-on reboot. Like they're not. This is not a continuation of the Netflix series.
Right. So it's just he's just Daredevil, and they're doing what they want with him as Daredevil.
Yeah, but this Daredevil that we're gonna get in She-Hulk in the coming weeks and stuff, and the Daredevil that the Matt Murdock that we got in No Way Home, and the Kingpin that we got in Hawkeye, it's confirmed that's not their what we know as their past adventures is not like. I don't know where they're gonna pick up with Born Again, but yeah.
And you know what? I'm okay with that.
It's okay because I do trust it in their hands that they're going to do the right thing. I was excited to see them continue on from what the Netflix series did, and I thought, especially when they put it on Disney Plus, I thought we are going to get continuations. But all right, that's fine. I mean, I'm here for it.
I was too, but I'll tell you why I think ultimately this could be better than that, right? Because we get Charlie Cox, who we know is a great Daredevil, right? We get D'Onofrio, who we know is a great Kingpin. Those were the standouts, right? I mean, let's be real. When you think about that show, those are the two things you think about, right? When I think about that show, I always think about, and I've taught this monologue in class, the Good Shepherd monologue the Kingpin gives in that last episode of season 1, where he's like, I thought I was the shepherd, but like it's this beautiful like monologue. I can't remember it now, but I taught it. But anyway, that's the thing you think about. So we get the best of that show, and now the MCU gets to recreate Bullseye, which is one of the more interesting villains in the MCU. We get to have an Elektra storyline that will fit into the MCU. We get to see a new take on these characters, which will fit more tonally in what we've got. So I think ultimately this is the better way to handle it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm glad that they kept the cast for the most part. I do hope they bring the rest of the cast back as well, because I like Karen Page also. Very, very curious to see if they're gonna bring John Bernthal back as Punisher at some point, or how they'll handle the Punisher. Because I do think, if anything, the Netflix series proved he needs to be R-rated. Like, I kind of feel like it's required.
So, who do you think we're gonna get first? Because we definitely know we're getting Deadpool, right? And we definitely know that Deadpool is going to remain an R-rated thing, right? Like that's something that the MCU has confirmed. So, do you think maybe they're waiting to see if Deadpool continues to make money under the MCU before they start? Like, okay, now we're going to make the R-rated line for the adults. We're gonna make the PG-13 stuff for everyone else, but now we're also gonna have this R stuff.
I think that's a good guess. I think Deadpool will tell them ultimately what they need to know, but I also think it's important to realize, like, especially with She-Hulk and some of the other series we've gotten recently, there has been more of an adult tone to the MCU in Phase 4. I think a lot of jokes. I mean, even in Thor Ragnarok, I mean, they went with Devil's Anus right off the bat, like, with that whole thing. So I feel like they have been slightly going a little bit more adult-oriented without full-on R yet. But I think, full-on R, Deadpool will tell them where they're at. And then I think Punisher would fall in line after that. I know that they can do something with him then. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else in D23 news that was.
Yes, the Thunderbolts.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
the roster for the Thunderbolts are and so we got. I'm gonna try to do it off let me see if I can do it off the top of my head. We got the Crimson Guardian, which glad to see him back. That guy rocked, and I love that actor, David Harbour.
David Harbour, yeah.
We got fantastic. We got Bucky in there, which I was actually talking about this today with my co-teacher, friend of the show, Walter. That I think this is a really good move to move him to his own kind of thing in the Thunderbolts and kind of pull him away from the Captain America stories for right now, to let Sam kind of, pun intended, spread his wings as Cap without Bucky, who's kind of the shadow of Steve Rogers. So I'm happy to see Bucky there. We got Yelena's there, which we knew that she was going to be there. Yeah. We got Ghost. Is that her name, Ghost?
Yeah. We have Ghost in there from Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right, which I completely forgot. I told Walter today. I'm like, yeah, there's this ghost. I don't know who she is. I don't think I've seen her before. And he goes, yes, you have. You've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm like, oh, right, she was it. That's her. So we get her, and we get Taskmaster.
We get Taskmaster, and also we get Julia Louis-Dreyfus as Val, who was putting the team together. She's like essentially their Nick Fury.
And also U.S. agent.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
most of the cast, most of the roster we thought we were getting, but there was a couple of exceptions that we didn't see yet.
So, like, what are your thoughts on what we saw? Like, are you happy or are you not happy for the most part?
Well, we talked about it briefly. We thought we were going to get Abomination as a member of the team. Maybe he does get introduced into the movie. We'll see what happens. I mean, he's not officially there right now. I know there's going to be some people who are annoyed because in the comics there are other, like the Avengers, there's a rotating roster. The Punisher is not in this. He hasn't been introduced in the MCU yet, so it doesn't really make any sense. Deadpool is not in this. He's not introduced in either yet. Red Hulk is not in this. He's also in the Thunderbolts as well. So is Venom. So they're just characters that are not introduced yet. So considering for the MCU, this roster works for me. I would have liked to have seen Abomination, though. That's what I thought we were going to get in this, and we're not. There's a lot of people with not a lot of superpowers in this. There are some humans in this that are there. I'm curious to know what kind of mission they're going to go on. That's what I want to know more about. What kind of mission are the Thunderbolts going to be sent on? Because Bucky has the super soldier serum, obviously.
Right. So does Crimson Guardian.
So does Crimson Guardian. Black Widow does not. She's a human. Standard human. Let's see. Taskmaster doesn't really have anything either. So, she's going to be there. What else is? And we were just mentioning.
Ghost has powers. Ghost
has powers,
right? Like,
yeah, she has some powers and stuff like that. I'm curious to see how she gets brought into the fold. Right.
And U.S. Agent also has this super soldiers. It's a lot of super soldier serum people.
Yeah, there is. So they're heightened, but not like anyone. They don't have a Red Hulk. So my guess is they're going to be on a mission that's it's not an Avengers level threat. I'll put it that way. I don't think we're going to get that.
I'm gonna lay down a theory I laid to Walter this afternoon. You can't trust Marvel. This does not mean this is all the Thunderbolts are. Marvel is Trixie, my precious. She is Trixie. And my theory is we are going to get Abomination of Thunderbolts, but they're playing that's the the Far From Home where we're scrubbing people out of the trailers we're showing you. I think they're going to play that close to the chest. And I think that's going to be their, because you're right, they need a tank. They don't have a tank, and the Red Hulk is their tank in the comic. And they simply don't have one, and the only tank that would make sense is Abomination. They reintroduced him for She-Hulk. Yes, they could have just reintroduced him to sew up his storyline, but think about it, right? Think of what they could mine from this. He is the Abomination, except he's also like spiritual and meditating and like, I don't want to do any of this. But what is his origin? He's a soldier. Your country needs you, son. You have to take this on. Now, imagine how fun it would be to watch Bucky have to deal with Tim Roth as, like a meal. Like, no, man, I just want to go back to my farm, and then having to be the Abomination. Like, I don't know. I think this is what they got planned. I definitely think we're seeing the Abomination. I'm going in on it not like I did on Mojo, because that I was just doing to make fun of all the other stupid ideas we were throwing around. I really think this will happen. If it doesn't, I will. I don't know. I'll do nothing. I'll just acknowledge I was wrong. But that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, I can see that. I think you got something good there, and I also think that the Thunderbolts are coming together because at the time in the MCU, the Avengers have been name dropped a lot, but we don't really know what the status of the actual Avengers roster is. We know there's going to be one, but my guess is like there is no Avengers roster at the moment. So,
no, they're going to put the band back together. I mean, most of the Avengers are dead or like on their own at this point.
Yeah, well, we know firsthand how it goes. That they're going to go ahead and somebody will put together the Avengers, and whatever. Before the Kang Dynasty, there will be an Avengers roster. But my guess is the Thunderbolts are coming in because there's a void right now, and there's going to be some sort of not quite an Avengers level threat that needs to be addressed. And here we go. Therefore, enter Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
The other thing that that I think I wanted to mention was Captain America: New World Order. So we got the villain of that movie is stunning to me. That we're getting the leader is the villain in Captain America: New World Order.
So now because I've only heard back and forth. I heard that they signed the guy to come back in the role. Is it confirmed that he's the main villain?
Yes,
because
when I heard D23.
Oh, okay, that's baffling to me as well. I honestly thought when I heard he was coming back, I thought they were introducing him to set up for the Hulk story they were obviously trying to set up for with sending Hulk back to Sakaar. That's what. But if they're saying he's the main villain, yeah, that's weird because he's never been a Cap villain.
No, so apparently the leader is going to be the villain in Captain America: New World Order. And also, we're going to get a new Falcon in that movie as well. So Cap is going to have his Falcon. Not Falcon. Cap Falcon is going to have his own Falcon as well. So
interesting. This is going to get confusing. Does that happen in the comic as well?
Yeah. The character's name is escaping me right now, but we met him in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He was the military dude. The kid that was the younger guy that was there, that was with them.
Oh, okay. I got you. Gotcha.
Yeah, his name's escaping me at the very moment, but he is going to take up the mantle as Falcon while Falcon became Captain America. So that's going to be pretty cool. I'm excited for that film, and now I have to know what the hell they're doing with the leader. And now, does that mean Hulk is going to be in this movie? Is that maybe the next movie he shows up in?
I mean, I guess maybe, but that would be I don't know. Again, I think it would do Sam the character of Sam a disservice to put him in his own Captain America movie and load it with other heroes and say, oh, by the way, the Hulk, because you can't carry these movies. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine, but it's just something that sounds weird to me now. They don't have faith in the character or the actor or whatever. They don't have faith in this transition. So it's kind of let's get someone in there we know we're going to put asses in seats. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just literally threw the whole thing out there because the leader's involved.
Would it make sense?
Yeah. Or maybe it doesn't. And then, in Marvel we trust because they haven't really let us down too often. So I'm sure they have a plan.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It probably is a bit more fleshed out than we're just throwing at the wall right now. So, all right. I think that's all we get from D23. So I think we'll go ahead and jump into our shows. That was a nice, cool opening segment right there. But yeah, let's get it kicked off with Stargirl Season 3, Episode 2. The Frenemies storyline continues.
So, Ed, we have a body. The gambler's dead. We saw the body.
Yes. Now, by TV movie rules, he's done.
He's done. The gambler, well, he broke even.
Wow.
That's right. I quoted Kenny Rogers. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So I love this episode because, again, I love this show. What a surprise. But so we kind of see Cindy with the gun. We go 12 hours before. We see Sportsmaster kind of menacing outside. We see the Shade come, and we think to talk to outside of the gambler's house. We go see the Shade talk to the gambler, all this stuff, and it's all setting up. Yeah, that's right, Rick. Me too.
I'm kind of shocked. I did not expect that from him. Bravo.
Rick, come on, man. Jump on. Talk Stargirl with us. Come on.
I'll send him the invite. I know he had some stuff going on, but.
Oh, okay. Good. All right. No
good.
But yeah, so the Shade is there. And then I said there's a body and Cindy's standing over it. And I'm like, all right, what's going on? And again, I really enjoyed this episode. It's pretty much to look at who could have killed the gambler, right? And their big three suspects are Cindy, the Shade, and they're looking at Sportsmaster and his wife. I forget his wife's name. And that's the investigation, right? And the whole time we're dealing with Joel McHale, who did as Sylvester, does some phenomenal acting in this episode, where he's dealing with, like, he's trying to be Starman. He's trying to live up to that when he has it, but he's also dealing with the fact that there are bad guys from the Injustice Society who had a direct hand in murdering him and his friends, who are now being accepted as good guys. And one of those people that he just can't get over is the Shade. And he goes off on this guy. He attacks this guy unfairly twice. And then he has this beautiful moment where he realizes, I don't blame him. He actually helped us. I blame me, but I hate him because he gave me the choice. And it was like, wow. I'm getting this level of acting and this level of, like, grief processing on my CW comic book show. Thank you. I appreciate this.
No, absolutely. And there was a Columbo reference.
Yes, there was. I was so excited there was a Columbo reference. And I didn't realize that was Seth Green. I didn't realize it was Seth Green as the genie. And then when he starts talking about Columbo, and, like, yes, and he's like referencing specific episodes which I had seen when I went in my Columbo-a-thon last year. Man, you put some Columbo in there, you got me. So here's my question for you, Ed, and I texted you this.
Yeah.
Do you think that this episode, the writers of this episode, took a little shot at the bad writing of The Flash as of late? Because
at what point?
All right. So Sylvester, when he is about to train Stargirl, says, "Time to level up." You know, like a video game, like Frogger. I mean, come on. That was a shot at the Flash, right?
It should be, because unless me and you are the only people that are catching this level up shit that's been going on for years, like the last year plus with the Flash.
Dude,
that was great.
Every other line is they're throwing it out. I loved it. Sorry.
No, I think it was hilarious, and the fact that he threw in Frogger made it for me. That absolutely made that gag for me.
It was brilliant.
It's surprising.
But yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of great stuff here. There's a lot of great stuff. That actor, the Shade, he's got some back and forth with Joel McHale where he really cuts him down, and then they get into it. And then there's this cool subplot where Sportsmaster's wife, whose name I forgot right now, is looking to ingratiate herself with the Rotary Club because again, these guys are just great parents. Like, they're bad people who've made bad decisions based on the guy that they want to be good parents. I would love them, love these characters. And then there's this whole B plot about them, her and Stripe's wife trying to make chocolate cake for
her interaction with her when she first asked her about the baking thing, I was genuinely laughing. She was like, well, you know, when you make it yourself, it seems like you care more. And she's like, just like deadpan, why? Well, you take the time and you should put in the effort. Why? Oh, well, you just... And she keeps on explaining it to her, and she just like has no clue of what the hell she's talking about. But then she's like, yeah, I'm just going to grit my teeth, smile, and be like, okay, let's do this. I'm going to try to blend in, because this is what we're doing now.
I love it. And she even says to her, she goes, oh, okay, so baking makes people think you care. Because she doesn't. And she just wants people to think she does. Because she's a sociopath really trying to be a good mom.
Yeah, she's not going to say, oh, I'm going to flip it around and actually care. Oh, this makes people think you care? Then this is how I'm going to make people think that I care.
I'll do it.
Pretty funny episode. I'm really liking this whole storyline thing that they're going with.
It's great. And then so to reinforce the theme, of the season that I said last episode is Courtney wants Sylvester to settle down because Sylvester's whole thing is he doesn't know who he is outside of Starman. He actually wasn't anyone outside of Starman. The Shade says that. Like, has Stripesy told you about your funeral? He's the only one who was there. No one cared. And she wants him to settle down and have a second chance, right? Because this whole season is about second chances for heroes and villains. And then we have two reveals. One, Cindy has the gambler's laptop, and that was the MacGuffin of like whoever has a laptop killed the gambler. I still don't think she did. But then it sets up the question: did Artemis kill the gambler? Because there's a moment at the end with her mother where there's there's a moment of tension and question, like, oh, do they know? And
I think it's a misdirect.
I don't know
again.
what's going. It might be, but you know what? I'll tell you something. This show is really good at these misdirects because there are so many misdirects. I kind of just believe everything because you got to believe something.
Yeah, basically. But I enjoyed it as well. I think it's another solid episode. They're off to a pretty good start again. Definitely. Well, I mean, the CW shows that we got, the two of the three that we got, are pretty strong. I mean, this and Superman and Lois is strong.
Agreed.
Flash
Agreed.
Was very strong at one point. We're hoping they give them a nice farewell because the Flash has run its course.
Pun intended. I like it.
Super pun intended. But yeah, it has. So it's good to see that they're going with this. And even if the CW, whoever, since they're sold now, or they move this back to HBO Max or something, that'd be fine. I'd like to see the show continue. It's one I really, really enjoy.
Me too. Because it's well written. It's just really good. It's high quality.
No, and it's just not what you looks like on the surface. With the whole Blue Valley, and it looks like, hey, it's like apple pie America and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's the surface. You got to dig and get into the pie, and then you see what the show. It's a pretty dark show when you actually watch it.
It really is, yeah. It really is.
So another show on HBO Max from DC that we've been enjoying very much is Harley Quinn season 3, episode 9.
Yes, we have. And I'm going to say something bold right now because I'm full of bold statements tonight. I am putting this show, the Harley Quinn show, in the pantheon of which I hold Batman the Animated Series. It's up there for me. Like it's the same.
Wow.
Like it's I can't get it. I just can't wrap my head around how good this is. It's very different. I'm not saying it's the same experience. I'm not saying if you like one, you like the other. I'm saying that I worship and revere Batman the Animated Series as the finest Batman stories ever made outside of the actual comic books. And I'm putting this show in that category.
Okay.
Because this is the last episode of the season, right? This is the end of the season. Do we have one left? We don't. If we have any left, we don't have many left, right?
I thought they were going to like 12 or 13.
Okay, so maybe we got more. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, we got a couple.
Just what this show's been doing, and maybe this is more based on last week, but like just to see how good the follow up to last week was, which was brilliant, and I still watched this episode and went, I wasn't disappointed. I didn't watch it going, man, they really kind of just did so well last week that I can't get into this one. Like, and that's why I'm saying it's so consistently good and so consistently in line with what the lore would be if Harley Quinn wrote it. And so that's it. For me, it is up there. These are the two sacred Batman texts for me.
Okay. That's that. If we could only get Bear to come on to really, I would like to hear his side of this because I know he adores Batman the Animated Series. Obviously, every Batman fan does. And I know he adores Harley Quinn. I know he adores Harley Quinn also. So I would love to see, I would like to, if he happens to watch this, we'll give this a listen. I want to hear his feedback on that because that is a big statement you are stamping on this. And it's great that that's the case.
I am. Again, it's not. I'm not saying this is the same as the comic. Like I've said 100,000 times when we're watching. Well, as we're watching this, it's not. I don't really love all the characterizations and the such, but as we're watching it, they get the characterization right. They've proven to me, as a Batman fan, that the reason the characterizations are so off is because, as you've said a million times, this show is the Harley Quinn show. It is 100% through Harley Quinn's point of view, and this is how she sees the world. And the fact that they showed me last week and this week how well they understand the psychology of these characters, it's like, no, I 100% buy that's what they're doing, and that is brilliant.
Yeah, and I for this episode specifically, I really enjoyed the follow-up to last week, because there was a cliffhanger at the end where Bruce resurrected his dead parents, and now he's started the zombie apocalypse inadvertently.
Which was brilliant. Who would have seen that coming? And in the whole episode, he's walking around with his zombie parents like, well, Mom and Dad, well, we'll get you back. This is me. I fight crime. And, well, I was 6 when you died. So, yeah, I understand. You don't know how it is to have kids. And it's only at the end when King Shark, and by the way, King Shark and Bruce Wayne together is one of my favorite things of all time. Them bonding over processing grief and trauma is fucking brilliant. I want to see a whole cartoon of King Shark and Bruce Wayne go to therapy together. But I love when Bruce Wayne finds out that there's the zombie apocalypse. He goes, "Oh, I've done this. Oh, damn it!" And then he becomes Batman again. Like he kind of snaps out of it. And I don't know. I really loved it. I really loved the way they treated that.
So there's not many times we can mention the zombie apocalypse without bringing somebody in, because it just seems like he just is drawn to the zombie apocalypse at all points in time. It's incredible how this happens. But Rick has joined us for the zombie apocalypse.
Rick. I'm so
Carl! Carl! What's up, everybody?
Rick,
What's going on, man?
I don't know if you know this, Rick, but I have a list of people that I hope that if the zombie apocalypse happens, that I'm in their band. And you are in that list, Rick. I hope that if the zombie apocalypse hits, I'm somehow in Florida and you and I are together so I can hide behind you, because that is what I would do. So I just wanted you to know that is my plan.
We'll take the boat out to the islands.
That's right.
Start growing pineapple and sugar cane, open up trade with other islands. We'll be good, Jason.
Look, we could live like kings. We could live like kings.
Like coconut and pineapple kingdom on a small island off of St. Petersburg.
Rick, I meant to tell you, by the way, so apparently they're doing a reissue of Day of the Dead, like the original.
Like a remake?
No, like reissuing, like they're releasing it in theaters
in
the next month or so. I'll send you the details offline about that, but I was actually considering going.
It's AMC, right?
No, it's Regal.
Regal, nice. Yes, keep me in the loop on that. I'm definitely up to go to the theater and watch some gray-faced zombies.
Yes, and having that dude just ripped in half or whatever they like that whole thing that happens. That's for some reason that stuck out to me when I first saw that movie.
Really? I rewatched it like less than 2 months ago.
Okay.
I was on this whole Tom Savini kick for like a week and watched a bunch of things that he had something to do with.
Well, Rick, what have you been? Have you been enjoying Harley Quinn as well? I know you weren't able to join us last week.
Yeah. I've been loving the Harley Quinn show. Like Jason was saying, with the King Shark B storyline that's been going on with him eating his brothers over and over. I just want to know how many brothers we started with and how many brothers we're down to at this point. Because I believe he ate his parents too, didn't he?
Well, his father was the king who died, but he might have eaten his mother.
It's possible. I don't think that's been confirmed yet, but it's possible. But Bruce Wayne starting the zombie apocalypse in Gotham is nuts. Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse again. The tree zombie apocalypse.
Yes.
That was also an extra element. And we're just zombies, and we're also half Groot. So the Groot zombie apocalypse is definitely going down.
And I love the way they established that is to have I think it's one of Bruce Wayne's parents vomit on Dr. Psycho, and he becomes a tree. And Harley goes, "Shit, can we stop that before it happens to someone we care about?"
Probably the best line of the episode, because that was really like a smack in the fucking face.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And
can I tell you I'm sorry, go ahead. My favorite part of this episode, right? My favorite part is that they have paid off. That's why I thought this was the last one, because they paid off the ongoing storyline of Bane not forgiving Poison Ivy for the wedding gifts. When at the end, Harley takes the vomit, the pasta maker, when she takes the vomit, and Bane is like, "Oh, you are forgiven. You have taken it for Bane. I am able to move on." Like, even that storyline is paid off. It's so brilliant.
Yeah, I'm hoping they find something else for Bane to do besides the pasta maker thing, because that's been hilarious this entire season.
So this wasn't the finale. I thought it was. The only thing I was expecting that didn't happen was Ivy to break up with Harley. I thought that was happening this episode. So
I don't believe it is. I don't believe this is. I'll double check it in a second. I don't believe this is the finale, because the first 2 seasons were both like 11, 12 episodes each. So I would be shocked if they just stopped this one at 9.
That'd be weird, yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up while we're chatting here. But
while we're chatting about it, do you guys think that I think these girls are destined to break up? I think Harley drives everybody up a fucking wall. What do you guys think about that?
I can see that.
Yeah, I think like as much as I'm in love with Harley, because I'm in love with crazy women, she would be a nightmare to be with, because that's her whole thing with the Joker, right? Like she has that personality where she just absorbs the personality of the person she's with. And I think like we do see that this season with her and Ivy, where like, she's all kind of gung-ho up until this episode about like, gonna do whatever Ivy wants. I'm gonna gas up Ivory, gonna pull up Ivy. So yeah, I think they might break up, because I think at some point they're gonna have a season where Harley has to kind of become her own person.
That's the Birds of Prey storyline from the movie.
Yes, it is.
It's everything's all about Harley's got to find herself. Harley's got to find herself. So I think that's another reason we don't see them stay together.
All right, so from what I'm seeing here, there's supposed to be 10 episodes in season 3. So
okay, so we got one
season
more.
finale should be season finale should be this Thursday.
They'll probably wrap up Bruce Wayne, wrap up their relationship.
Wrap up.
Well, she's got to say
Joker is still in charge of the city, and he hasn't done anything bad yet.
Yeah, he's the mayor. Batman's gonna have to Batman now to try to stop this zombie apocalypse to some extent, because we know this is the Harley Quinn show, so we know it's not going to be straight up how we would normally see it. Right. Joker's still there, and Harley is a zombie plant right now.
Well, didn't Harley revoke? Not Harley. Didn't Ivy revoke her curse? And
She snapped them out. She snapped everyone out of it. You're right at the last second. I'm trying to remember what the hell was that happened.
Even Frank is normal.
That's why Harley took it.
Yes.
Frank. By the way, what a great moment of just like Ivy giving her villain monologue and changing her clothes and stuff, and Frank's just in the background rolling this huge joint to smoke. It's just a really fun visual.
Love it.
Yeah. So, we have anything?
Great show. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. As Eddie knows, until this season, I didn't even watch it. So, I went back and rewatched the first bunch to catch up and be up to date with everyone. I had no interest. I thought it was silly. I thought it was stupid. I had no interest. I didn't know what it was about. And it's very Rick and Morty using, Harley Quinn and the DC people. And I like Rick and Morty, so it works for me.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else on Harley Quinn before we move on? Nope. All right.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and.
Bane is good. Bane is ready to move on to the next segment.
We've gotten a pasta maker over with, so that is it.
How relieved was he, though? Honestly, the voice acting, let's give the voice actors their props. He was so relieved in that moment.
Because it's a thing. He legitimately was caused trauma by the pasta maker incident, and it was only in that moment that he was able to forgive and move on from that traumatic moment. And that's why that is my favorite incarnation of Bane, because that is batshit crazy.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump it over to the MCU as we got She-Hulk Attorney at Law, episode 4. A wild episode, and especially when I gave us our inspiration for our opening music of Woke Up This Morning. Rick, I know Rick actually went on a Sopranos binge somewhat recently.
Yeah.
As well.
And about a year ago. Well,
right?
When Saints of Brooklyn came out. Or Saints
of Newark.
Saints of Newark. When Saints of Newark came out, I had never watched the Sopranos episode, and I went back and binged the whole series through. And I regretted that I didn't watch it the original time through, because I would have had so much to talk about this whole time. Just Sopranos, jokes, situations, this, that. But at least I know all the jokes now, and that's what matters.
That's okay.
I got an important question for you, Rick, since it's kind of fresh in your mind. How messed up was the Joey Pants killed that horse? I mean, come on, that horse murder was terrible. I can't get over the horse murder, guys. I can't.
That wasn't right. That wasn't right.
There's a Ben Kingsley quote that me and Jerry still use to this day, because it's one episode where he's like, "Fuck," and he just says it like that, and I've never let it go. I don't know what it's ridiculous. So if you ever have a moment you want to just say "fuck" about something, fuck. All right, well, let's get to She-Hulk then, because
one thing before we get off of Sopranos, because I know it has so much to do with She-Hulk.
Yes.
Queens guys, bada bing, was Wiggles.
Yes, I know this.
Yes.
The legendary Wiggles.
Legendary Wiggles.
Which is gone. It is now currently just a space that still says Wiggles and for rent, because I live near there. And it is still for rent.
You need to go buy a 40 and drink it in front like it's 1997.
Oh, jeez.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, you drink a 40 in front of Wiggles, and then you would go inside and drink iced tea for like $5.
It's true. They did not serve alcohol there, so you had to get pretty blasted before you went in there. And I did every single time.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Good times.
All right, Sopranos.
Okay. All right, so we meet Donnie Blaze, who we find out is obviously not. Yeah, Donnie Blaze, by the way, who also connections to HBO, was on Entourage. Who was also the director in Entourage as well.
That's where I knew his face from.
Yeah, he was priceless. He was hilarious on Entourage. So he's playing Donnie Blaze, who's a magician who apparently spent a week in Comitage and everything, and they kind of just like failed out of it. So he's doing like magic shows around the place and is just trying to do regular magic. By the way, I know this is probably Farachi jumping in. Billy Walsh, thank you, Tim. He played Billy Walsh in Entourage. He was a hilarious character on Entourage. So, wow, thank you. I knew one of them was going to go ahead and save the day right here. So he's going and doing magic tricks, and apparently, which I thought was actually smart that nobody was impressed by, because these are humans living in the MCU. Yes. They've seen some shit at this point, so none of your parlor tricks are working now. So you're going to have to up the ante, and he takes out his sling ring, which he apparently still has, and then we meet Madison, who apparently is just a random drunk socialite person
who has currently set Twitter on fire and the MCU meme world on fire.
Yeah. Been a lot of talk about Madison over there.
She was so perfect, though.
She was hilarious in this thing.
100%. She's exactly what I want in this episode from the very beginning. Like, my name is Madison with a Y, with 2 N's and a Y, but not where you think. But every single time she introduces herself, that is exactly the word she used to introduce herself. It was brilliant.
And it's great that she's like drunk the whole time.
Yes.
She's drunk the whole episode
court.
because she leaves. She shows up and then she leaves. She comes back and she's still drunk. She's wasted the whole time.
I love when she doesn't even remember her own address. What is your address?
Oh, and Tim is changing.
She found a way to get drunk in the afterlife.
And more Ys, and not where
there you
go. Oh boy. So,
and the fact that she shows up at Wong's place and this whole feud, because back to the Sopranos, this whole feud between Wong and Donnie Blaze starts with because she shows up to his house. He realizes Donnie Blaze put her into this, and then she ruins the Sopranos, which he, like myself, will only be watching like decades later for the first time.
Oh, you've never watched it?
He's never watched it.
I've seen,
Jason might be getting spoiled
seasons. Also. It's okay. I've seen like seasons here and there when I had access to HBO, but I didn't always have access to HBO at that time.
So, yeah, pretty much she shows up and Wong is binge watching Sopranos. She spoils some major stuff there. He gets pissed and was like, "Oh, Donnie Blaze, I'm gonna go after him. He's doing his cheap parlor tricks and shit like that." And I do enjoy the next scene where Jen breaks the fourth wall to be like, "Oh, you guys are happy because you've seen Wong is back this week," and it kind of gives us some Twitter armor, you know, for this episode of the week, which I thought was
perfect,
priceless that they're acknowledging a very meta thing going on with this show, which I think is great. But then he goes out and meets with Jen Walters as She-Hulk, and I love the way Wong leaves his card to get back to her because he wants to go ahead and pretty much sue Donnie Blaze for like kind of like trademarking magic, as it's put at that point. And it's like, well, did he sign up? Did he sign an NDA or anything like that? And blah, blah, blah. No. He just kind of, pledged himself to, to Comitage and to the whole thing and everything like that. And just like, just kind of got to get shit in writing. This is what we're dealing with here. This is the legal system of America that we're dealing with here. So your shit kind of holds no weight. Yeah, and there's also a big thing here where she's clearly setting up her dating profile.
Yes.
Like Jen Walters is creating her dating profile as her. Doesn't get really a lot of hits per se, and ends up creating a profile as She-Hulk. And then all of a sudden, people, everyone's swiping right or whatever it is you do, and they're kicking down her door to date She-Hulk, and that's when some insanity begins. One of my favorite scenes in the episode, though, is when she goes on that horrible date as Jen Walters, and the dude is just totally tuned out. He checks out these two girls walking by. I think they're like in a bowling alley, maybe, or something like that. And she just blurts out, "Yeah, I'm a Hulk, and I have superpowers," and blah, blah, blah. Yes. The dude is just like totally just checked out, and he's over. But then the check comes, and there's the stare down of who's going to go ahead and pay for the check.
Oh, God, yeah.
That was priceless, dude. That was priceless.
Yes. Because we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yes.
We've been on that
page. Both sides of it. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
Because.
So, I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say because it was a date going bad is when you're, from a guy's perspective, you're like, oh, of course, you'll always go ahead and grab the check and stuff. But like, man, there's been a real shitty date. Maybe she's going to go ahead and creep for a while, or maybe not. I mean, that's where they were at right there. And of course, the dude dips out, and she goes in and takes care of it, and it's over. But you were gonna say?
Yeah, no. So watching this episode, I realized what this show is doing. Right, this show is setting up with Jen Walters an allegory for like how women are expected to behave in certain situations. Societally, and how they want to behave, right? Because if you look at it, everything about She-Hulk is forced upon Jen Walters. She doesn't like being She-Hulk, right? The power is forced upon her. The name's forced upon her. She gets a job that she has to be the She-Hulk. She has this shitty date, and then the next good date that she has, where she winds up getting lucky at the end, is only because she's the She-Hulk. And he fucking leaves as soon as she drops being the She-Hulk, which, come on. Come on, guys. That actress is really attractive. Stop.
Yeah, that was
leave just because she's not the She-Hulk. Come on.
All right, so yeah, we can jump to that part because I did want to talk what was going on in the middle of that. But yeah, she ends up going ahead and meets this guy who's like a doctor and wants to hear about her feelings and everything else. Like pretty much a checkbook of like what we would generically think, like a woman would want to hear and wants to see on a date. He's caring. He's a doctor, dude's jacked. Like it's a good looking dude and stuff. And
right.
Yeah, and then she has to leave and come back because she has to go ahead and help Wong, which was something we'll get to in a second, but comes back. She's kind of like got some stuff on her from the battle and everything, and she's hyped up, and she goes and picks him up and carries him to the bedroom, and then we get the next morning, they're having breakfast, and then the awkward moment of she sees her as Jen Walters and kind of ditches out. And this dude is like, he's like a super big, jacked, buff guy, and just kind of like, whatever, I'm out now. This was unexpected.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You thought she was She-Hulk 24/7, and that's it.
Right, exactly. Come on, but again, I think that's the allegory, right? Because women feel, from what I understand, that they have to keep up this certain appearance to be a certain thing at work, be a certain thing in relationships, be a certain thing, whatever, and they always just want to be themselves, right? But it's hard to reconcile. I just want to be Jen Walters, except the world wants me to be She-Hulk, and I think that's and I think it's brilliant. I just saw it this episode, but it's been setting it up the whole time. Like I think that's the allegory, and I think that's why it's pissing off so many people because guys don't want to hear that women feel they have to be someone else in the world because of the way they look at men look at them. Men don't want to hear that. It pisses them off, and so we have a big part of the fandom being pissed off about this whole part of the the feminist thing. And I think that's why. I think it's because it's kind of shining a light in allegorical way that only the MCU can, in this like kind of way that women feel about having to be two people. So hats off to the show. I thought it was really good, really smart way to do it.
Yeah, and that's an interesting way to break it down because it does appear that's what they're shooting for. And there are us guys who are cool with it. Like you can tell, but you can hear that side of the story. You don't always have to like kind of just hear what you want to hear, and that's it. You want to hear everything. You want to hear what everyone's going to talk about.
Right? Yeah, I mean exactly.
So then the other storyline though, with including Wong, Donnie is served with a cease and desist. On backing off of that, and they have this great scene in the courtroom where they go to court, and then Jen goes at it as an idea, like, listen, this isn't going so well, let's bring back Madison. And then Wong goes ahead and does the thing for, to summon Madison over there. She comes through, and the fact that she calls Wong Wonger and is like so excited to see him again, priceless. That was priceless.
And like, I want to say that Wong pretends he hates Madison. He pretends he doesn't want to hang out with her. He fucking loves it. He because after that, they go back and watch The Sopranos. They're still hanging out. Come on.
They're watching This Is Us after that, too.
Yeah, that's right. They're watching This Is Us. Exactly. They've become friends. And I fucking love that Wong is the backbone of this phase.
Yeah, it's pretty damn funny. So they have that, but then Donnie Blaze over there ends up, he's granted permission to continue while the case is still going on, to go ahead and to continue his magic shows, and then he screws around again, pulls out some demons, his demons running loose. He runs to Wong for help, and then Wong is like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do this for the universe. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for the overall good. And he goes and gets She-Hulk, interrupts her date, and that's why she has to go back afterwards. And she's like, "What am I doing here?" I love the fact he yells at her, "I need you to just be a Hulk. Go ahead and start kicking some ass and get these damn demons in here. There's nothing else to it." And she starts kicking some ass, and they start throwing these demons back into their dimension. They close the thing up, but then she gets Donnie Blaze to say, "Listen, before I send this last one back, you got to agree to cease and desist and cut the shit out." Pretty much done. Literally case closed. That's over with. And but then at the end of the episode, she gets served papers from Tatiana, of who Tatiana copyrighted the name She-Hulk and is telling her she's using it incorrectly.
which is insane. And then that's when she says, "I didn't even come up with this fight." Like, I didn't even come up with this name. It was given to me.
Yeah, and I do love the ending of the actual episode when she just goes to the camera and is like, "Man, that's a shitty way to end the episode." But I bet there's a fun tag at the end, and we do find out there is. It's more of Wong and Madison watching This Is Us, and they're talking about drinks that they've had, and it kind of looks like they're hanging out and drinking together. And we've seen Wong go in Shang-Chi and do the whole, he's drinking, he's a pretty big drinker, this Wong. Drinking and singing karaoke. Man. Yeah,
Wong hangs. I want to see him. I want to see Wong and Shang-Chi and Madison at karaoke in the next Stinger scene. I don't care what movie it's for. That's what I want to see. MCU, make it happen.
That would be great. But Rick asked us a question on our group text, which I don't know where he went to. Mm-hmm. He's vanished. He may have went to Commentage or something like that. Do we think that Wong
Rick works in mysterious ways?
Do we think Wongers and Madison, do we think they hooked up? Or they're just friends hanging out watching TV shows?
So you want to know if you think they got it on?
Yes.
I think they're just...
Where are we with this?
I think they're just friends watching TV shows because I think Wong had to take a vow of celibacy for his Commentage stuff. Like Doctor Strange isn't, but that's why Doctor Strange isn't the Sorcerer Supreme anymore.
Oh, fair point. Yeah, I don't know. I was on the fence about that. I was kind of like, do I want to think this happened? Do I not want to think this happened? I don't know. I think it's funnier than if they didn't. Actually, I think it's funnier.
Me too. I kind of just want to see them be friends. I want to see her come back every now and then, just in the background, just to know that they're still friends somehow. Because I just think that's hysterical.
Yeah, I agree. So, all right, we'll see where this. Go ahead.
Before we move on, Ed, I cannot believe that you missed something important here. You, of all people, did not bring up the fact that Madison says that she was originally not sent to Wong's place, but sent to like a hell dimension or some form of dimension and had to make a deal with someone she cannot talk about.
Yes.
And that begs the question, Ed, does it reopen Mephisto talk?
I don't know, Rick, does it?
No Mephisto.
Do we think that Madison meant Mephisto and Mephisto sent her to Commentage? Because when we were led to believe Donnie Blaze just sent her away to like a hellscape and she had to make a deal with someone named David.
Mm-hmm.
Not
David,
Mephisto.
aka Mephisto.
I'm gonna leave Mephisto.
It's gonna be another boner joke. It's with the Mephisto thing, like Wanda was the perfect time to introduce it. Like, I think that there really is some, what I originally read was something about like in the Asian market, like China in particular, like you cannot portray the devil. So that's
what Bear actually put on her page too.
Right. Yeah. I read that 2 years. Well, whenever Wanda came out, whenever WandaVision, what was that? Year and a half now?
Yeah.
So whenever WandaVision came out, like that was the answer that I kept getting to all of the Mephisto stuff. So I don't see that changing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think, all seriousness, I don't think Mephisto is involved in this. I think it was probably like another fun joke to have about it.
Yeah.
But I do 100% think we're going to get Mephisto in this because also the last couple of movies, China has the China market has pretty much said, you guys got to rewrite some stuff because you can't do X, Y, and Z in your movies. And
right.
Marvel at times has also said, well, go fuck off. We're not changing that much of the movie.
Haven't they also made multiple versions of movies, though, for release?
They have, but some of the stuff they were not changing.
Right.
So they've kind of drawn the line. Like, listen, there's only so much we can change. If we gut this out of the movie literally makes no sense. So, well, we're going to have to do without it. What are you going to do?
I'd love to see him. I
would be surprised if we don't get him whenever we get an MCU Ghost Rider.
Right.
Whenever we actually get Ghost Rider, you can't not have Mephisto involved.
You have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's when we're absolutely going to get him. And it would be kind of funny if they retroactively were like he was behind X, Y, and Z.
Right.
All the stuff we thought, that would be hilarious. I would love it.
It was Fisto all along.
Exactly. I would adore that.
When you guys were discussing D23, I didn't get the whole thing, but did you guys get into Ghost Rider at all? Or a possibility of Midnight Suns or anything like that?
No, because they didn't mention any of it. So that's why we covered what they gave us. So that's kind of where we do it. The only speculation we had was possibly Abomination potentially being added to the Thunderbolts lineup eventually. Because we know Marvel doesn't give everything on face value. So
right. I did hear that, and that brought me back to my Abomination is faking everyone out thing. I was like, see, he's not a good guy. So I'm still gonna continue to lean into that. Abomination he's playing an act and he's playing a game.
I don't think it's the last we've seen from Abomination. I'll put it that way.
Correct.
I'll tell you, Rick, I said it at the top. I think the very opposite. I think Abomination is good. It's going to be one of those things like Soldier, your country needs you. We need you back here, and you need to be our tank. And we're going to get like Abomination, the tank, but we're also going to get Tim Roth. Like, man, I just want to smoke some pot and hang out with my 7 wives. Why do I have to do this? Like, that's the way I think they're going to take it. That's my call.
All right, I'm here for it.
All right. So let's get to it. Let's get to our movie of the week, which was the second of the trilogy of Incredible Hulk TV movies that were made in the late 80s, early 90s as a revival to the series that had ended after 4 seasons. The second one is called The Trial of the Incredible Hulk. This one featured Daredevil. Out of all people that I would have connected to the Incredible Hulk.
Glasses for shades.
Wow. So I'm glad that you have mirror glasses, Rick, because that was one of the most disturbing things I think I saw in this that I'll bring up in a second. But yeah, dude, this is Lou Ferrigno Hulk, if you haven't seen it. And Daredevil is introduced as Matt Murdock. And we also get a Wilson Fisk, who is not referred to as the Kingpin per se, but we know who he is. But he also has this weird thing about wearing mirrored glasses constantly indoors, and I don't know what the hell that's about.
I've got even
He's also
better.
obsessed with video cameras, like taping things.
Yes.
And like, it's such a weird, like, I'm obsessed with the technology of the time.
Yeah. All right, so I'm not the only one.
I got the real.
These
weird. Are the real mirror
That was
ones.
weird. It was weird.
There we go.
Jeez. Yeah.
There it is.
I'm trying to turn the light off so I can be the Kingpin in that one scene where he says something to the guy and then his electric chair rotates around. I was like, I need one of those in my house. Whenever my wife and my daughter come ask me for something, I just press the button and it just
So I honestly think I thought the Kingpin thing was very weird. The Wilson Fisk thing was odd. They keep on referring to the city, but I keep thinking this is supposed to be Cleveland.
No, they're in Queens. They keep talking about Manhattan.
Do they? Because I'm
just kidding.
I don't know where am I supposed to be in this?
That's what I was thinking the whole time. They keep referring to it as the city. I'm like, what part of Queens are we in?
My biggest question in this whole movie, as soon as I saw the Daredevil signs, like, wait a minute, is this supposed to be Hell's Kitchen? Because it doesn't look anything like New York.
No.
I don't actually know. I have no idea where it is. Like, it's so weird.
So I'm going to say is that I really do think this is supposed to be Cleveland. And the reason I'm saying that is because, yes, I was there this summer on 4th of July weekend. And it kind of does look like Cleveland. Like, I was there, and I'm like, this has to be Cleveland.
I was trying to figure out where it was at, too. I should have looked it up because I was going with Georgia if I had to make one up. But Cleveland is a really good one, too.
But within the context of the story, they never refer to where they are, and that we know clearly that in the Return of the Incredible Hulk, when we just last saw David Banner, David Banner was leaving California.
Right.
So he just found his way to Cleveland, I guess.
He hitchhiked to Cleveland, and at first he stayed in Akron for a little bit, and then he made his way into the city.
Yeah, maybe some gamma radiation spilled on a very young LeBron James, and then he like got real big and jacked, and then now we know the history.
That's what happened there. One little bit of Bill Bixby's blood got into LeBron James, maybe,
Yeah.
and then. But it was really weird. The whole time I was watching it, I kept waiting for an inference to New York,
Yeah,
New York, and he was just Daredevil. Did they ever call him the Devil of Hell's Kitchen? I know I did.
No, they did not. You just see things spray painted. Daredevil rules. Right. Daredevil spray paint in places. So the city, whatever city this is supposed to be,
Metropolis.
Yes,
it looks like Metropolis more than anywhere else.
No, they've adopted this Daredevil as their hero. I mean, as their vigilante.
They have. And I'll tell you something. They take on this movie does. It's not New York because it's just the city, as you guys said. But they take on a lot of tropes like from 80s New York movies, like the whole criminals roving all around and being on the subway and sexually harassing women. Like that's something out of an 80s movie in New York. So I think it's funny that it's obviously not New York, but they're trying to give the New York vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
Even the high-rise building stuff. Like they were totally going for that whole vibe.
The one high-rise building where the way that he tracked down David Banner's apartment, I thought was kind of insane. He goes in, he's talking to this dude like over the phone essentially. It was like, oh yeah. So turn the light this way and shine it on the map. If it was 3 o'clock, turn it like this. And I'm like, what are we doing right now? What the hell is going on here?
It's the type of detective work that Batman hadn't done in any movies until recently.
I guess so. So before we even get to, because I mean, I think another criticism I might have of this is that as this is the trial of the Incredible Hulk, there's not a lot of Incredible Hulk. I'm pretty sure he pops in twice, and that's about it.
No.
And not even at the end. Not even at the end, the big showdown with Wilson Fisk.
It would have been
and actually one time he shows up as the Hulk, it's a dream sequence.
Yes.
So I think we get 3 appearances of the Hulk, and one is the dream sequence.
Yeah, I was a little let down by that. I'm not going to lie. I was expecting him to be involved in a big fight at the end with Wilson Fisk, and nope, not really. It's David Banner who was the hero who's working with Daredevil on this one.
Which
change of pace. So
why do you guys think they had to cut back on the Hulk? Because I was watching a bunch of Ninja Turtle movies like a year ago, and I ran into the same thing where they were showing how in the first Ninja Turtle movie, you had this many fight scenes, and all of the turtles were involved in this many. And then when you watch Ninja Turtles 2, I think there's 0 fight scenes where all 4 are involved, or maybe 1.
Okay.
And so they were like cutting back on the action sequences and cutting back, I guess, on the money they were willing to spend on the film. Do you think that's something that happened? I can't see that painting Lou Ferrigno green being expensive.
No.
Why do you think the cutback?
My personal thought is this was made as a backdoor pilot for a Daredevil show that never happened. And I think a year ago they did the backdoor pilot for Thor and it failed. And they looked at it and went, well, you know what we didn't do is we didn't put Thor in it a lot. I mean, he's in it a lot, but it's like, but it's the Incredible Hulk. So I think they went, okay, well, what we need to do is put Daredevil in it a lot and have Hulk be the supporting character so people could get behind this Daredevil as being the star of a show. That's 100% what I think happens to paring down the Hulk. Because you're right, he's not really in this a lot.
I think it's a missed opportunity that they used the Hulk in one of his 3 appearances in the trial. That's a dream sequence. That was kind of dumb to me. And you could have just eliminated that crap and just had him team up with Daredevil and fight at the end, which I was waiting to happen and just didn't happen. And I thought that was kind of strange. But I can see, Jason, what you were saying, though, is that maybe that was also the case. They were hoping they were going to get all these spin-offs going, like Thor and Daredevil.
Right.
And I don't
Right.
recall. We'll know this week when we watch the Death of the Incredible Hulk, which obviously ending it is. There is no other hero now. I'm pretty sure it's literally just the Hulk, and they're giving him his official send off, and that's it. Rick, I guess we'll start with you with talking about this because we might as well make him a front and center. What did you think of this Daredevil Matt Murdock?
I thought it was an excellent first attempt. They did a couple of things well that I liked. One was his lawyering, which, unless you watch the Coolio scene, which was edited out of the Batfleck version of Daredevil, you never get to see him be a lawyer. And so I think that was really cool seeing him do his job. I think it was cool seeing his day-to-day and how he kind of like plays it off for other people. Mm-hmm. I thought it was weird in the middle of him playing it off for other people when the box falls in his closet and he doesn't catch it. It just kind of hits him.
Yeah.
I was like that. Well, that wasn't super smooth. But I like the guy that was playing him. I like that they, it leaned into him playing it off for other people so they don't suspect. I like that it was real Daredevil that takes a licking and keeps on ticking, because he got his ass whooped for like 15 minutes. Like, that scene was way too long. But I was like, stop. But no, I think that they read a couple of comic books when they made this one. I think that they actually looked at some source material when it came to Daredevil, and I think that they focused on all the right stuff. Showing how his sonar works. That was a cool little, it was a very 80s thing that they used to do it. Yeah. The only thing better than that was, again, like Ben Affleck, like when it was raining, like that was really cool. Yeah. I liked it. No, I think they did a lot of things really well with him. I wasn't let down at all. I was pretty hyped up with him. I would have liked to have seen the D on his uniform. That's the only thing I didn't get.
Yeah, you're right. It's just black spandex, and that's it.
First episode, he doesn't get his uniform until the last one.
Yeah, that's true.
So just to be clear, what Rick wanted from this was the D.
What? Yes. The double D.
The double D. Yeah, I think I can second on a lot of this stuff. I actually think that the characterization of Daredevil for an 80s TV movie, I thought it was actually well done. I thought it was the strongest part of this movie here. I really do, and I think, I would have also, like Jason had texted us, and he would watch the shit out of a Daredevil show that was based off this.
Oh yeah,
I would have. I would have liked to have seen the city defined of where the hell this was, besides Cleveland, Ohio, which I'm going to just refer to as. But there were a lot of cool things in there. The fact that I'll buy the explanation of this Daredevil versus what we got in the Ben Affleck movie. I went blind, so I automatically knew martial arts. Versus here, at least he's like, hey, I guess he trained himself as a gymnast, because that's what it looks like. So he went the Jean-Claude Van Damme route.
He was also physically gifted. He was also physically gifted as a young man. He made sure to say that.
Yeah, exactly. And they do acknowledge his father being a fighter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So they kind of covered a lot of the bases. And they had Turk in this movie, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
That he was in this, and he was also seen in the Netflix series and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was waiting for a Foggy Nelson, but
he was replaced with this woman that was also thirsty for the double D.
Yeah, she was.
Yes, she was. She's like, so, Matt, how do you experience sexual intercourse with someone who can't see?
That was one of the scenes that ended up on the cutting room floor, unfortunately. That's when it went straight to...
But she does have a moment. She has that moment where she asks him, like, very sensually about how he experiences life as a blind man. It's like, whoo, geez.
Wow.
Made for TV?
Jason, what did you think of Daredevil in this?
I loved it. Like for what it was. Like,
yeah,
so when I first saw this guy, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be my Daredevil." I don't know. I can't mandate this, but I'm a prick, you know. I don't like anything until it proves itself to me. But I get a certain point into this, and I'm like, I'm kind of all in on this Daredevil. I actually had a moment where I was watching it, and I said at the top, this is one of the best TV movies I've ever seen. Like, I really enjoyed this, and a lot of it was Daredevil. And I'm watching it, going like, you know, it actually makes more sense to me if they just would have made a Daredevil show instead of a Hulk show. Like, I think I would have enjoyed that a lot more because, like, there are so many limitations you have with the Hulk, and you don't have that with a blind guy in black spandex or eventually red armored spandex. Like,
yeah.
I don't know this, and I like this guy, and I like the characterization. My favorite part of this Daredevil is how he's always, as Rick was saying, he's always trying to play things off for other people, but how people being like giving him sympathy is always fucking him over. So he has that moment where he's like listening in the hospital, and he's like doing this thing where he's listening, and an old woman goes, "Oh, I'll help you, blind man." He's like, "Oh fuck, I'm just trying." Okay, thank you. I guess I'm going. I was listening. You know? Like, and there are multiple things like that. Like, I really appreciated that, and I appreciated how they made every other character but him feel uncomfortable about his disability, and have him just go, "Why are you so uncomfortable, bitches? Man, I can do this. I'm fucking Daredevil." Like, I loved everything about this version of Daredevil in this time.
Yeah, I thought that was definitely the highlight of this. I guess the other thing, next character we can talk about is Kingpin. Wilson Fisk, who Rick pretty much has this obsession with mirrored sunglasses on, like he's the Macho Man or something.
I need a video camera.
And videotaping everything.
Now I am Wilson Fisk. Say hello to the camera.
His whole plan is absurd. It's completely absurd. He's like, yes, I'm going to have my people take down Daredevil and film it so I can show it to everyone else so they can see that I get shit done. Fuck off with this.
Come on. This is going to be my resume.
Yes. I couldn't get behind that. I'm sorry. I could not get behind the Wilson Fisk aspect to this. I think it's stupid. I think it's goofy, even for a TV movie. That didn't work for me. I thought it was stupid.
RoboCop was already out at this time, right?
Yeah, came out like a year or two before this.
Because that was the vibes Wilson Fisk was giving me. Like Jason was saying, the whole like he wanted to be futuristic guy, you know, with the cameras and the this and all the screens, and he looks like he might be friends with Patrick Bateman too. I can see that happening.
Yeah, I mean, they're both in the 80s. They're both doing some weird shit. And yeah, I could see some of that.
They're like renting VHS tapes.
Yes, I can see that. He's, watching porn or, in the background while he's doing his crunches and shit, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Trying to feed cats to ATMs, which he does in the book.
Yes, exactly.
This Wilson Fisk is definitely fed a cat to an ATM at some point.
Yes, 100%.
So are we agreeing that Wilson Fisk just does not work in this at all? Like, he was just like the worst part of this thing?
It's terrible.
He looks good. He looks good. Like the actor looked like he could be.
Without the sunglasses, though.
Without the sunrise. He puts the sunglasses on. It's like, I'm going to crush RoboCop.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see where his whole tower that they had looked like it was the OCP building or something.
Oh, yeah.
And my thing was, does he only employ scuzzy rapists? Like, because his whole thing, like the whole, let's just talk about the whole like kickoff to the conflict of this movie.
Yes, please. I wanted to get to that.
Wilson Fisk has these two scuzzy rapist thieves in his employ, which he has them wear cameras so he can wear a camera and guide them. Like, talk about micromanaging. I mean, Jesus, I would not want to be a goon for this guy. But then they steal the jewels that they're supposed to, and they get on the subway. ? That's how you flee a jewel heist on the subway. And then in the middle of the afternoon on the subway in not New York, New York, you have fucking David Bruce Banner, because he's David, because he's not gay, goddammit, and you have this other woman, I think, right, and you have this other woman, Elle Mendez, who is just like there, and these two guys come on. It's like, oh, hey, sexy lady. Ooh, I want to meet you. Like, what the hell's going on? And then, like, Bruce Banner then hulks out, and that's how the whole thing happens. Like, and I'm like, what? Why would the Kingpin employ these two scumbags? Like, he has better sense than that. How about you employ professional non-rapists to get your jewels stolen?
The other thing I wanted to talk about, yeah, you're right. So pretty much that sets off the conflict with this whole thing, and then he's like, Wilson Fisk is like, oh well, we can't go ahead and have my guys, found out, so we need to go ahead and kill this woman. And it's like, no, don't kill this woman. We're going to use this woman to lure out my worst enemy, Daredevil. And then it's like, no, we're going to kill David Banner now, or whatever the hell last name he was using in this. No, because he uses a disguise thing. That's like, let's not change it to like Smith.
Wait.
Let's make it start with a B also.
Wait, was it him or Jason that was all upset that David Banner wasn't David Banner in the Ang Lee movie?
Oh, Jason was furious.
How did it piss you off in this
furious.
Well, no, because he changes the name to be a disguise. He's saying that fucking Eric Bana was even playing the character.
Yeah, like, here's the thing. This is David Bruce Banner. David, because he's heterosexual, goddammit. But he's still David Bruce Banner. Pretending to be David Bruce, I swear I'm not gay, whatever the hell his last name is. I'm okay with the pretense. I'm okay with the costume. It's the fact that he's like David Kepler or something in the goddamn Ang Lee Hulk movie. He's not even Banner. Banner doesn't even come into the equation. It makes no sense to me.
He's like, but it kills me that he doesn't change it to like David Smith. It's like David Banya. Banner or something like that. Like, it's never nothing drastic. Like
David Banter.
I'm David Rodriguez. No, I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
David.
It's like, dude, you're not even being creative. Banter. And so then he goes ahead and the Wilson Fisk wants to take him out. Then obviously you try to kill David Banner. We know what happens. Then the eyes will turn green and everything like that, and people get fucked up.
No, but they don't. So, they don't turn green in this. They turn like a weird opaque white. They're not green.
Yeah, you're right. You got a point on that. And by the way, this one was directed by Bill Bixby.
Yeah, I did notice
was it?
that.
Oh, okay.
I caught that in the opening credits also. So there were some creative choices in this that seemed very different from the Return of the Incredible Hulk. So I don't remember if he directed the next one too. And that pretty much is the conflict of this movie. I mean, essentially. But yeah, so he also has a beard. We'll move on to David Banner, who has a full beard for most of this. But then when he turns into the Hulk, no facial hair. What the fuck? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Come on, movie. I'm not saying fuck you, movie, but come on, movie. What are we doing? And then he shaves eventually, as the movie continues.
They probably picked up on it at some point in the filming. Somebody was like, every time he turns into the Hulk, Lou Ferrigno got no facial hair. Maybe somebody picked it up after week 1.
Do you think Bill Bixby was directing and he was like, I'm going to direct in my chair and I'm going to have a beard and I'm a director now? And I was going to be like, yeah. And then someone pointed it out to him like the key grip and he's like, fair point.
Shit.
I'm shaving. I am shaving now. Instead of telling Lou Ferrigno, dude, we need you to get a beard. Sorry.
I think Bill Bixby was like, I'm the director. I ain't shaving this shit for anyone. You know what? When I become the Hulk, I just lose my beard because that's how the comics work, right? I've never read one. And then halfway through filming, someone came up to me and they went, Mr. Bixby, we just read this comic where bearded Bruce Banner turned into a bearded Hulk. Apparently it matters. And he went, holy shit, I got to shave this. That's what I think happens.
There's a shaving scene in this.
He does.
So yeah, I guess overall the quality of it, I did enjoy it. I'm not as much as I'm ragging on some things. I enjoyed it, but mostly as like a Daredevil story. I didn't think this necessarily needed to be a Hulk story, but whatever, it's fine. I got a kick out of it, and I got some laughs. So entertainment value is solid. I'm excited to see the last one.
Yeah,
next week.
I am too.
Yeah. Have you guys been paying to watch these, or have you been watching them on? I've been watching them on Tubi for free, and Tubi has commercials, so I feel like I'm watching it the way it's meant to be watched, with like the occasional commercial interruption. Go to the bathroom. I know when to make a bowl of cereal. How are you guys watching these?
I have rented them on Amazon because I as much as I'm watching them while eating breakfast sometimes. I don't know. I still want to zip through it, the commercials when I can. But I noticed that the Death of the Incredible Hulk is not on Amazon, so I might actually have to go to Tubi for that.
All right, I'll look for it. I'll let you know if it's on there. Hopefully, it is. That'd be weird that they would have the first two and not the third.
Yeah, I don't understand what that's about.
I've been getting mine on YouTube.
Okay.
You can rent them for like $3 or $4, which I don't care. Like whatever.
Yeah, I've spent $3 or $4 on worse.
Yeah, right, exactly. And Rick, I'll tell you, if I could find somewhere to really watch it how it was meant to be watched with the original commercials from when it aired, I would so 100% do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wishing to have the option. Well, when the commercials are coming up, they're talking about Verizon and this and that.
Yeah,
it would be cool to be seeing some weird '80s commercials.
Right?
I would love to see it with the original. Maybe like New Coke or something like that, or whatever the whole New Coke or some crap like that.
They were promoting toys, so you got some toy commercials in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think so because these were like primetime NBC things. So I'm not sure. I don't think there were many toy commercials during this. These were like,
oh, all right, that's a good point.
Yeah, these were big deals on NBC from what I remember. So I remember like recording them with the VHS and stuff because at the time you like this was it. If you ever wanted to watch it again,
you're done.
It's it. You're done if you didn't record it when it came on. And I was like beyond excited to watch these damn things. So
see, luckily for everyone, Al Gore invented the internet.
Yes.
Thank you, Al Gore. Thank you. Because without Al Gore, wouldn't be here right now.
We got any final thoughts on Fall of the Incredible Hulk before we wrap this up? All right.
Again, I want to go to the.
Okay.
I want to go to the alternate universe where I could watch the shit out of the fucking show that became of this Daredevil backdoor pilot, because it's obviously what it was. It's why we don't get the Incredible Hulk. That's why I don't care. I just really love this, and I wanted to see more of this. That's it. Rick, I'm sorry. It's all you.
No, I'm going to say the exact same thing. It make me want to watch Charlie Cox after this and just mend the two together. He's just in the city. But no, I'm pretty blown away with this made-for-TV business and how like they actually did a really decent job, and it makes me lose a lot of respect for the people between then and now that like just dropped the fucking ball. That's just kind of one of the things is like because I think we're like the perfect age, maybe like 50 years old might be a little better because they were teenagers when they were watching this as opposed to us, so we were kids.
Yeah, I was like
but
10.
Right.
Like our memory is everything fucking sucked, and then they made Blade, and like
yes,
like that's not.
I love the way.
But it's not totally true. Like there are these fucking little shining lights that this movie is not the Fantastic Four movie, with the cartoon Johnny Storm. Like it's not.
No, it's really not.
I think these people did a decent job. They worked within the budgets they had, and I think they did a good job. I could have used a lot more Hulk in this, but I'd watch this movie again for sure.
Okay. Oh my god! By the way, I was just trying to find out where the hell to watch the Death of the Incredible Hulk. Amazon sells the DVD for $65.
Holy shit!
Wow. So we might not be covering that.
I mean, it has to be on YouTube or something. I'll find it.
I'm going to check
I'll find
right
it
now.
Let me contact my Russian friends. I'm sure I can find.
This is kind of nuts that's the case. Watch this be the one that we can't find.
I'll start scouring the flea markets in Florida for a VHS copy.
Ooh, you have a VCS,
cannot.
I have
Guys,
one.
you cannot rent it. You cannot.
I know you can't rent it on Amazon.
No, on YouTube either. You can't rent it.
Really?
Wow.
So nobody
has
even posted the full movie?
Nope. It's just
free? Oh,
there's
wow.
got to be some sort of like crazy licensing issue. All right, I'm gonna. I got some people I can text.
All right, we'll see what we can do about next week. We don't need to, So, all right.
If worse comes to worse, we'll reimagine the movie. Let's just tell each other what we think what would happen.
All right, so thank you for joining us tonight. As always, you always appreciate it. If you join us on Facebook, you can go ahead and join the Granny's PhD Facebook group, and also join the Facebook group for Pop Culture Pros. If you're joining us on YouTube, hit subscribe to Pop Culture Pros. If you're following us on Twitter, at Pop Culture Pros is where to go ahead and follow. Same thing for Instagram and wherever you found your podcast. We will be back next week, and we don't know what our movie will be because might not be able to find the Death of the Incredible Hulk. If we don't, Plan B will be we will do the animated Planet Hulk movie. One way or the other, we're not finished with the Hulk.
Like that.
Yeah, we're not finished with the Hulk just yet. So we will see what happens next week. We'll be back next Monday night at 8:30. So you can go ahead and check us out then. And Pop Culture Pros has a bunch of cool shows on there. It's a baseball and cover the Yankees. Got the Empire 161 show, which me and Lisa recorded our latest episode just before this. Check that out. If you're into the Mets, put it in the book show with Rachi and Rodriguez and Keith. They go over and cover the New York Mets. We Stomped You Out is back as the New York Giants got their season going off. Me and Rick got our Giant shirts on. Yeah, we're celebrating the first time being over 500 in 5 years. So that's as sad as that is. Go ahead and check out the rest of the show. So we'll be back next week, and see you then. Peace.